Hi, welcome to this course in applied statistics. I'm Greg Duncan. I'm one of the two instructors. Paul Yu is the other. He has his own little introductory video. This is a course in applied regression. It is intended to follow a more elementary statistics course that covers hypothesis testing, confidence intervals, maybe a bit on multiple regression. But this really takes off from there. Building on that kind of elementary statistics courses, there are two ways to go, both of which are very important. One is a fairly formal route to the topic of multiple regression, and there are a lot of courses like that. It provides all the kind of statistical background for the kind of things we're going to cover in this course. This course is different. This course is more an intuitive course that presumes that you will learn the formal statistics at some point, but it's taught in a way where you don't really have to have mastered it before taking this course. The syllabus, if you take a look at the syllabus, has a number of references to chapters in two different more formal statistics books. One's by Rachel Gordon. It's a more elementary treatment of the statistics behind the kind of topics we're going to talk about. The other is by Jeff Wooldridge. It's a more formal kind of introductory econometrics class. Both are fine, and if you read those chapters as you go along and listen to the lectures, you'll both acquire the kind of intuition that I'm trying to teach, as well as the formal statistics that are found in the book. This course will try to, as I say, provide some sort of intuition behind the kind of applications that multiple regression finds across the social sciences, in particular economics, developmental psychology, as well as sociology. Different disciplines use it in somewhat different ways. They've got different vocabularies for it to some extent. I try to bridge across those kind of disciplines. Each discipline also has its strengths and weaknesses. I'm not without opinions after all these years of doing research and teaching versions of this class. And I don't try to hide those opinions. I try to justify those opinions. But one of the things that I do emphasize in the class is that regression can be used either to describe associations among variables, or it can be used in a more ambitious way to try to establish causal links between measures and variables. In the second week of the class, I lay out all my biases, and one is life is too short not to aspire to causal inference. And I think you find some people will be taught to avoid causal inference, that associations are the best you can do, and you always want to be careful in your language that you're only estimating associations and not causation. I don't think that's a very useful aspiration for applied statistics. I think that there are, first of all, the causal techniques will provide some kind of handle on causal impacts. And what most people want to do is statistics with conduct an analysis and then make policy recommendations, right? That a lot of applied people across the social behavioral sciences aspire to influence policy, to try to do research that influences policy. But if you think about what policies are all about, the policies are about changing something. And we want to be able to forecast what happens when a policy comes along and changes things. And that's very much a causal kind of exercise. So I will spend part of the course talking about quasi-experimental techniques that have been developed, things like regression discontinuity, difference in difference, and so forth, that have been developed to try to get closer to causation from associations. But I also want to provide a background in the more traditional correlational approaches, longitudinal models of various kinds, growth model. There's a little section on that. So it does try to cover the try to cover the landscape. So we've set up the course to try to really be two courses in one. It provides an introduction to STATA, the statistical program STATA, and how to actually use STATA to do the kinds of simple descriptive as well as regression-based analyses we'll be talking about in the class. This will be done by Paul Yu, my co-instructor, but it will be done in a somewhat independent way. So Paul will explain that in his introductory video, but basically there are links to kind of fundamental tutorials about STATA. And then every week in the class, there are problem sets, and Paul conducts a lab that goes over the basics of the problem sets. So you could take this course and just do the STATA part, or you could take this course and just do the statistics part that I'll be covering. Either is fine. Obviously, if you do both together, they're kind of geared to be together. You'll probably get the most out of it. One little technical thing, I apologize for having a lower quality camera in the first weeks of the class. So please put up with that. After the first few weeks, I switched to this camera, and the camera quality I think is much higher. So enjoy the class. We welcome your feedback about it. You can email me or Paul Yu, and we would appreciate what kind of comments you might have. So enjoy the class.